right there. We just saw part of a roof fly off the, right there. It's happening live, folks.
WPDE was with you live for 5.5 hours as Hurricane Charley churned up the Grand Strand.
And tonight, the recovery has begun. WPDE has live team coverage tonight. Brian Williamsen at the Myrtle Beach Pavilion with a damage assessment there.
Kyle Grainger's live in Horry County with a look at damage across Horry and Georgetown counties.
Mandy Mitchell live on Highway 501 with the lifting of the evacuation.
And Candace Smith live with an update on the power situation tonight.
Well, while the ocean is calm tonight, earlier it was a much different situation, especially at the Myrtle Beach Pavilion.
That's where we found WPDE's Brian Williamsen throughout the day, and it's hard to believe looking at that picture right now. But Brian may have had the moment of the day today when he fought off hurricane-force wind gusts. Let's take a look.
It's just going to have to be the way it is. The hat is not an option at this point. And yes, I am hanging on because it's strong enough now where it would definitely blow you down if you were standing out here. One thing I wanted to point out this time, we'll get to the debris in just a moment. If you see the ocean, all right, guys, we're really nowhere near high tide at this point. The water is pretty much encompassing the entire beach at this point. The waves, the surge is actually coming up to the dunes there, the sea oats, if you will. Incredible waves out there crashing in. And you can probably see it right there through Nate's camera. The actual storm surge is already starting to come up to that line of sea oats there, which is much further than where it was even at high tide.
Boy, what a difference a few hours does make.
That is amazing. Brian, tell us what it was like out there just about, what, 6 hours ago?
Just an incredible day out here, Jim and Allie. We literally saw it all. I mean, throughout the morning, it kind of escalated there with the winds and then a little bit of rain, and then it was a whole bunch of wind and a whole bunch of rain for that matter, too. So I now know what a 75-mile-per-hour wind feels like to stand through, and I'm still picking the sand out of my teeth here. But we survived. Unfortunately, a piece of Myrtle Beach history, well, it did not. Before we roll some video of that, I want to show you a book here. It's called Reflections in Time, all right? And within this book, there's actually a photo of the clock at the Myrtle Beach Pavilion taken from the early 1950s. Hard to believe it's been around for 50 years. I can't see what you're seeing at home right now, but if we could roll that video, this is what happened to the clock today. It happened earlier this morning. The first batch of wind that we had before we saw the eye, well, that knocked the clock over on its side. After that first batch of wind came through, we had the eye, and we had a pause for a while, but it didn't take long. The second batch of wind actually blew back the other direction, and it physically blew that clock, that heavy clock, several hundred pounds, across the roof and onto its side and where it met its fate there. So a piece of history in Myrtle Beach, unfortunately, didn't make it through the storm today. Now we want to show you some video of the damage the storm caused. First, some pictures of the Surf and Dunes Hotel on South Ocean Boulevard. Crews are still on the scene there because a tub of chlorine was actually punctured during the high winds. There is a hazmat situation there. We also want to show you the Poindexter, which had its tar roof ripped off. Several railings were also bent in half after the storm came through today. Now the Golden Sands suffered some serious damage there. Its roof blew off. The wind also destroyed several cement railings at the Golden Sands. Finally, we're going to show you the power of the wind there, sending the Hurl Rock sign toppling to the ground. Literally, that sign taken off its post and then just sent down. Truly some unbelievable video and certainly quite a day. Now, we had reported to you earlier, city crews at first wanting people to definitely take it easy. At this point, look around, guys. I swear it looks like there was no storm here. It looks like this is that perfect Chamber of Commerce kind of day. Sun shining, there's a nice breeze. I think it's in the 70s, maybe it's in the 80s. It's very nice out here, and truly what a difference a few hours make. But I guess it's just like another day in paradise here, right, guys?
Just amazing. 6 hours ago, what a dramatic scene it was. And Brian, in your professional career, we talk about reporters being on the scene, if you will, but that was really tense there for a while. We're talking about 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts. It had to be a little hairy for both you and Nate, the photographer there.
It's really important to point out, and as some city folks were talking with me today, folks with the city of Myrtle Beach, this is why we evacuate. This was a case where this was a good evacuation. I don't really want to think about what would have happened down here if we had had tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people down here, because it was a serious situation, and the fact that I'm sitting here just hanging next to the pole instead of, grabbing onto it like earlier says a lot. So we're glad that it's what it is now, and we hope that everyone's cleaning up right now, and we hope everyone's okay after surely a long day.
It turned into a beautiful evening. That is just phenomenal. Brian Williamsen, great work out there today. Thank you, my friend.
Damage can be seen throughout Horry County, not just in the city of Myrtle Beach.
WPD's Kyle Grainger has been traveling throughout Horry County, checking out damage this afternoon. And Kyle, what did you find?
Well, Jim, it's a common sight, downed trees and some minor damage to buildings. We've compiled several shots up and down the Grand Strand and throughout Horry County. We're going to start here, first of all, in the north end of the Grand Strand. North Myrtle Beach does have a lot of downed trees and power lines on numerous streets in the city. We did find this hotel in the Windy Hills section of the beach. Half of its roof was torn off. A little farther north in the Cherry Grove section of the beach, another hotel, some structural damage there. You can see where a portion of the front of the building was ripped off. We're told it could be as long as Monday before that building is able to open back up. Now let's go to the south end of the Strand. You can see waves crashing right up to the back of some of the houses there. The south end also saw some damage to the sides of hotels, and some shingles were blown off of buildings. There are also numerous other debris, mostly small debris though, that can be found in yards and on the roadways. Now, interior sections of Horry County. This is video from Conway where you can see there was numerous trees that were blown over from the storm. Also, several signs were damaged, and there we also saw some minor structural damage to buildings. The biggest story of all in these areas has to be the flooding that has built up in low-lying areas. As we traveled around today, we saw several streets, several secondary roads in Horry County that the water was actually covering the roadway, and most of the ditches and creeks were full of water, and so throughout the night you're going to want to watch out for that. Overall, most of the widespread damage isn't necessarily widespread. It's just scattered about. Jim and Allyson.
Yeah, once again, looking at Kyle just a few hours ago, he was being pelted by rain out there, and now standing out in the sunshine.
Yeah, it's pretty warm too.
It's almost stunning, just 6 hours later. Unbelievable. Kyle, thank you. Well, Governor Mark Sanford visited Conway earlier today to assess the damage here in Horry County. WPDE was first to bring you the governor's reaction live.
He said he was pleased with the way so many different law enforcement agencies worked together.
We were lucky in a number of different ways. Seen a fair bit of damage in terms of down limbs and down power lines, but beyond that, no major structural damage that I've seen. I do want to give some great compliments, though, to the law enforcement and emergency management crews that have been out there both yesterday and today working awfully hard.
A lot of people working awfully hard right now. Well, one Horry County area that was hit hard by Charley was Carolina Forest.
WPD's Rich Chrampanis was out there in the thick of it and has the story.
The Tanger Outlet Center sign on Highway 501 felt the wrath of Hurricane Charley. The large sign was uprooted and fell into a man-made lake. Carolina Forest Boulevard had a number of trees down, holding up traffic, while the traffic lights along Highway 501 were down throughout most of the afternoon. Residents in Carolina Forest experienced flooding and minor damage. Construction debris from the Highway 31 overpass tumbled onto Highway 501 at the height of the hurricane, causing one motorist damage.
Well, coming down this 501, there was nothing to see until the last minute, but debris all over the road, and it hit our car. And, there's nobody out here to either block off this traffic and steer them another way, or to warn you that, it's debris falling.
In Horry County, Rich Chrampanis, WPDE News Channel 15.
How about that? And that was actually Rich moving the debris off the highway so traffic could get through down 501.
Even Rich out there making a difference today and then reporting on it. Fantastic. All right, let's check in with Ed Piotrowski now. Ed, quite a day. Very dramatic there as we approach the noontime hour. And now as you look at these images from the same locations, it's amazing what a few hours difference can make.
Absolutely. The tropical system is now far, far away from here, moving away, and we aren't going to feel any more effects from that. Let's take a look at live Doppler 15,000. We've got the all clear out there, not a drop of rain showing up anywhere across the area right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the satellite pictures in motion, and we can show you, of course, what's left of Charley heading through northeastern North Carolina into southeastern Virginia. The eye actually coming ashore somewhere around Georgetown County, the southern parts of that county, and it literally moved right up the Grand Strand. Many folks along the Grand Strand actually experienced the calm of the eye of a hurricane and saw the winds go 180 degrees from the east around to the west during the course of the day. Live pinpoint weather net for you now. Temps generally in the upper 70s to near 80 and fairly light winds. Whole lot lighter than they were earlier today. We'll have a look at just how strong those winds were and how much rain coming up shortly.
Very good, Ed. We'll see you in a few. Thank you.